I found this debate on LBC interesting, a discussion that arose from a listener's question, will we ever replace what we lost by leaving the EU? George Monbiot was part of the panel, and it's his cool dismantling of Tory MP Aaron Bell's position that's worth a listen.
George Monbiot is looking completely unimpressed. George?
Well, Nicola's question was, will we ever regain what we've lost?
That's right.
And the frank answer to that is no. I mean, the catastrophic combination of Brexit and austerity, the Tory wrecking ball, ripping down public life, ripping down civil society. It will take decades, generations to rebuild the fabric of our lives from that. Now, frankly, I couldn't give a monkeys about a US trade deal. It's pretty irrelevant. By comparison to what we've lost as a nation within our own borders as a result of these ridiculous, time-wasting, life-wasting policies imposed on us by successive Tory generations.
Do you think that the argument that was made in the referendum, and we don't want to rehearse all the arguments there, but one of them was made about proximity, that, the EU is our closest trading partner and proximity matters in trade. Are we just not finding out that that is now the case? Is that what in your view, is happening?
Yeah, I mean, all the warnings were dismissed as Project Fear, but boy, have they been coming true.
Aaron?
Well, we have a free trade deal with the EU, and we're now adding to that with Japan, Australia, as you mentioned.
All right, name one good export from the UK, Matty.
It's hard, isn't it? I suppose. The peas pies. I don't know. Yeah, it's very hard. But this is about what we sell to them, Carl. It's a good thing for us. Good thing for us because we get to sell more beef, and that's great for everybody in Australia.
But I reject what George says, as you'd expect. I don't think that what he's obviously advocating is going against what the British people voted for. Well, we had to make good on the promise to the British people, and that's what the 2019 election was all about. That's why Labour lost seats like mine in Newcastle under Lyme, because they basically put two fingers up to people who'd voted to leave, who voted Labour all their lives, and said, we know better than you. And maybe George is right. Maybe George is right that the Labour Party is full of people like that. I know there are plenty of Remainers on the opposition benches. I know that Keir Starmer went out before the last election saying there should be an option to remain. It's clear that is the overall agenda of a future Labour government, or certainly Labour backbenches, because they all regret what happened. But I stick by the judgment of my constituents who voted to leave, and I think we can have a bright future outside the EU, but working with the EU.
So that judgment has now changed, and we've seen the polls showing clearly that a majority of people would rather the Brexit vote had not happened. So you're not going to stand by the current people, but you're going to stand by the old decision, which people now regret. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Click here for some Jonathan Gullis.